It was expensive, it was £100. I'll just snaffle that one up. Hello, sir. Look, there's a dragon. There's a dragon. Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Kizzy and today I'm going to be doing another book haul, which I didn't expect to do because I'm meant to be on a book buying ban. I can only buy a book when I've read 2 books. Obviously I have not read that many books this year already. I mean, it's only February and I'm a bit of a slow reader, so I've read 4 books, so technically I should have only had 2 books to buy this year. And although some of this is from like the end of last year, a lot of this is from this year. However, I'm going to defend myself and say that I am very lucky that I work in a bookshop and we get sent a lot of books that then go put on a shelf, and if people don't want those books or people want those books, they can just go up to the shelf and take the books that they like. So a lot of those are those. Some of them are ARCs that I've picked up that way, and I went to a different bookshop that was much smaller than the one that I currently work in, so they had like a lot more books on there, and I literally came home with just my backpack was just stacked with books inside it. So I think I have over 20 books here, and one of them is the most beautiful book I have ever owned. I can't believe I own it. I just am blown away by its beauty. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably have already seen it because I did do a reel of it, but it's just so good. Like it's just, I can't believe I own it. It was expensive, it was £100, but it was worth every penny. So I will show you that at the end because that takes time and it needs the attention. I'm going to dive right in because otherwise this video will be very long. I've got a few middle grade books to share with you, so I think I'll start with those. The first one is one that I've seen a lot on BookTube, and that is Amari. I don't really know much about it, but it's raved a lot, so when I saw it, I just picked it up. This follows Amari, who apparently knows 3 things. Her brother Quentin has gone missing, no one will talk about it, and his mysterious job holds a clue. So I think it'll be like just a fun middle grade, and a lot of people loved it. So the next middle grade book is one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I have done a wrap up for it, so I will link it below if you'd like to see more about it. But that is The Hatmakers by Tamsin Merchant. This follows a girl whose father goes missing in sea because he's out discovering or trying to find special ingredients for her family's business, which is making magical hats. It's the family business that she wants to go into, but the crown is also in jeopardy and she has to do all sorts of things to save the crown and find her father, and it's just a really fun book that you'll love. So, and then I was lucky enough that they sent the next book to the store and I snaffled it up, and that is The Map Makers. I'm excited to continue on with this story, like I'm so ready for it. I think this comes out on the 17th of February, so that's very soon. I mean, just look at the cover, it's so cute. Like, look at it. I just love it, and it's such a fun story and it's got such good characters. I would highly recommend this series if you're at all interested in kind of magic, fun, good stories with like really great characters. And then I also picked up The Last Bear because I keep seeing it when I'm in the store and I always think it looks really good, and apparently it's meant to be very good. Michael Morpurgo has written a thing on it saying it is an important first novel, important for us, for polar bears, for the planet, and deeply moving, beautifully told, and quite unforgettable. That's it for middle grade. So I'll get my classics over with. The first one I got as a Christmas present, and that is Christmas Carol and Other Writings by Charles Dickens, of course. My plan was to read Christmas Carol for Christmas, that's why I asked it for Christmas, but then I didn't really think that I wouldn't get it till Christmas, and then obviously it's a bit late then kind of to go back and read it. So I will save this for this year to read it, but it's obviously in the beautiful Penguin Classics edition, which I'm slowly but surely getting a nice little collection of, and it's just beautiful, and I'm excited to see what the other writings are because I read Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, but that's about it. The next one I got is also a gift from my mum because we actually went to the place that this is set in, and that is Brideshead Revisited, but the place where it's set is used in the film. I think there's 2 films of it, like a remake as well. So my mum bought me the novel when we went there. Next I have a crime. I got this because it was the book of the month, so I thought I should read it because it's always good to know what you're selling in a bookshop. I wasn't too impressed with it, to be fair. It's very easy, very consumable, very quick if you just want like an easy, like I read it in like 2 days. The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. Don't think I said that. Next I have a YA fantasy. This is Gilded by Marissa Meyer. I haven't read any of Marissa Meyer books, but she's someone that I want to get to. I think I discussed this in a recent video because I'm having flashbacks to talking about it. Would like to try her as an author, and I thought I'd start with this one. Another book that I saw that was kind of intriguing, one because the cover is like so cool, like it just looks cool, and the story also sounds interesting. It is called A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk. This is about a hidden world, a magical conspiracy, and a thrilling romance. So I wanted to read more kind of like fantasy romances. A lot of the fantasy I read doesn't really have that romantic element to it. And on the front it has mystery, magic, murder. Fantasy, murder, mystery crossovers are also something I really am intrigued by. Kind of detective-y fantasies. So I wanted to pick this up. Then of course, if you've seen any of my recent videos, you know I've been raving about this series and I had to pick up the next 2 books in the series, and that is the Blade Itself series. So we have Before They Are Hanged and The Last Argument of Kings. These are just the next 2. Everyone should read it. If you haven't read it, read it. It's just so good. Now I have a couple of arcs that I've picked up. This one I think is already out. Again, it's an author that I really want to read, but I haven't ever got to. And this is This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. I think this is a YA book. Not 100% sure, but it is apparently an explosive first book in the new fantasy series from New York Times best-selling superstar Tahara Mafi, with an intricate, absorbing world that weaves clashing empires, forbidden romance, and glimmering magic with Persian mythology. All things I love. Perfect for fans of Leigh Bardugo. Say no more. Roshani Chokshi, who I didn't know who that was, but she apparently wrote The Gilded Wolves, which is a book that I've had my eye on, but I haven't picked it up. And Sabaa Tahir. So, 2 favourite authors mentioned there, so I think I'll enjoy this. I feel like Tahara Mafi is like a favourite of a lot of people. I said I wanted to read more romance, so here we go. And then the next 2 I think don't come out till May, but they are very exciting. We have Twin Crowns Twin Crowns by Catherine Webber and Catherine Doyle. Oh, they're both called Catherine, but one's with a K and one's with a C. 2 sisters, 1 crown, they have to fight over it. I think there's betrayal, there's a secret sister, there's hidden witch villages and all witches, murders of her mother. You know, it's all battles, lies, all good stuff in a book. And this is a really cool like arc that they had, so I wanted to pick it up. This comes out on the 12th of May, so hopefully I'll read it before then and let you guys know how it is before it comes out. And then the next one I have is one I'm really interested in, and I actually met her uncle, I think. He came into the store and pre-ordered the book. This is by Sophie Irwin, A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting, and it just sounds like such a fun read. It has quite a lot of promotion behind it, so I think it's got to be a good book because, you know, you don't invest that much in a book that you don't think is going to be worth it. It is apparently the debut of the season. I'm getting like kind of Bridgerton vibes. In 1818, fortune doesn't favour women, but it always favours the brave. Kitty Talbot and her sisters have just 12 weeks until their family home is repossessed. There's only one thing for Kitty to do: launch herself into London society and bag a rich husband. Nobody can stand in her way except perhaps Lord Radcliffe, whose keen gaze cuts straight through Kitty's meticulous ruse. The season is about to begin and there's not a minute to lose. So I'm getting like Bridgerton and Pride and Prejudice vibes from that, maybe because it's just Kitty. But yes, this also comes out on the 12th of May. That's going to be a big day for publishing. The 12th of May, we also have A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting, which just sounds like fun. So I actually have a couple of non-fiction books to share with you. Shocker, I know. I'm not someone that delves into non-fiction very often, but I have to say, since I got this new job and being around books that are non-fiction, it's never like even an area of the bookshop I even go into normally. I am much more intrigued by what is out there. Like, it's just opened a whole new realm of books that I didn't know about. It's just more to spend my money on. But they are so, like, they sound so interesting and I just want to read them all. A lot of these are kind of fantasy, mythology based kind of ideas, so it kind of is still in with my rhythm of interest. So the first one I have is technically, is it non-fiction? I don't know, actually, it's non-fiction. Classic-y non-fiction. It is Beowulf, but it is a female, says feminist translation by Maria Davana Headley. I've only read, I think it's Seamus Heaney's translation of Beowulf. This will be interesting to see a crossover, and it had a cool cover, so I picked that up. And then we have this beautiful book. It is called Dragons, Heroes, Myths and Magic, The Medieval Art of Storytelling by Chantry Westwell, and it is gorgeous. Like, it is a chonker of a book, but I mean, look inside. It's filled with like full-on colour illustrations of like medieval art and everything. Like, I mean, just it looks so interesting. Like, I've done a little bit of like things on medieval literature as I did a couple of modules on it, but I mean, this looks so much more interesting in the modules that we did. Like, reading, I think, a blank page of like just text on medieval literature wasn't really my thing. Look, there's a dragon. There's a dragon. So it looks so good and I just want to delve into this. Like, I just want to stare at the pictures all day and like just be inspired by them because it's just such an incredible book. How could you not want to sit and watch and look at these? Like, look at his little face. He's so cool. So yeah, whilst medieval history I didn't really enjoy it as a module, this I am incredibly excited to get to. Then another one I have on kind of British storytelling is Storyland by Amy Jeffs. Another beautiful book. Like, it is heavy as well, but this is kind of fully illustrated with the author's own illustrations. So they're kind of lino cuts, or I don't think they're wood cuttings. I think they're like lino. But this is obviously about British mythology, which is another area that I would like to read more on. So there we go. Then I have one that I keep seeing in the shop, but it sounds incredibly interesting, and it is River Kings by Kat Jarman, and it is a history of the Vikings from Scandinavia to the Silk Roads. Vikings is something I am interested in. Viking mythology is another area of myth that I would like to delve into more, but I think this woman found like a bead or something that she like archaeology excavated, you know, they dig around. This bead kind of changed the way they viewed Vikings and a lot about Vikings, and this is her kind of exploration of how those changed. Next we have a recent release that it is stunning. It is The Moon Goddess by Su Lan Tan. This follows the Chinese mythology legend, or is inspired by the Chinese mythology legend of the Mid-Autumn legend, which obviously follows the Moon Goddess. And this is the Waterstones sprayed edition collection edition thing that's not available anymore, but the UK cover is still stunning. Like, hello sir. Very intrigued to get to this one. This was only released this month, so it's a very new one. And now another romance. Maybe I'll do a video on just romance, reading fantasy romances. Would people be interested in that? That would be quite a cool vlog. Maybe I'll do that. Another book that I bought, I don't really know why. I just kind of saw it in the shop and then was like, this cover looks cool. I've been eyeing this cover for a while, so I'm gonna buy it. And it was in a sale, it was half price. And it's by the author of All the Light We Cannot See, which I haven't read, but everyone raves about. But this is Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I don't know what this is about. I know nothing about it, but the cover is cool. Like, look at all these like buildings. I think this is a book that's in front of it. Like, is it literary fiction, or is it I think it's literary fiction. I think it's a book about books. So, bound together by a single ancient text, the unforgettable characters of Cloud Cuckoo Land are dreamers and outsiders figuring out the world around them. 13-year-old Anna and Amir, an orphan seamstress and a cursed boy, on opposite sides of the formidable city walls during the 1453 siege in Constantinople. Ooh, this is actually sounding interesting. Teenage idolist Seymour and octogenarian Zeno in an attack on the public library in present-day Idaho, and Constant, decades from now, who turns the oldest stories to guide her community in peril. Ooh, okay, so we have 3 storylines going on over 3 timelines. We have 1453 Constantinople, present day, and decades from now. So apparently he's created a tapestry of times and places that reflects our own vast interconnectedness. Maybe, I don't know if this sounding maybe like it might be a little bit over my head, but I'm intrigued. Kind of like, I think it'd be quite confusing, but I like confusing books. Intrigued, I'm more intrigued than I was when I first started this video to read this now. Next we have another book that I picked up because a lot of people rave about a different book that he read, that he wrote even. So when this was like kind of hanging around the staff room, I was like, I'll just snaffle that one up. And that is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. He wrote The Cerulean Sea, which is meant to be amazing, but I have seen a review recently that someone loved that book and then tried this one and they couldn't get into it. So maybe a bit contradictory. But this is about, I think, a person who dies and he has to kind of like deal with his death in this other world. I don't actually know. No, I think it is about that. I don't know. It's got a cool cover too. They did have like blue sprayed edges editions as well, which was stunning. So if you managed to get one of those, kudos to you. Okay, we're on the final stretch, guys. 5 more books. One that I picked up because I think I saw Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction read this, or mention this. Yes, I think so. And that is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. Again, I don't know much about this. I kind of just bought it because she mentioned it. There we go. And it just sounds like a good kind of fantasy to get into. And she looks very strong. So there we go. We have this one. Then a book that I'm meant to be reading as a kind of book club book with some of my friends, and I have not read it yet, which is terrible because I was meant to finish it last month. But some of them are enjoying it. The ones that have started it are enjoying it, most of them. So that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Obviously this is a fan favourite on the old book talk. So we'll see. I'm feeling a little bit intimidated by it because everybody loves it so much, and it is not necessarily the book that I'm in the mood to read right now, but I do want to read it because I have to. Yeah, not gonna say much about this one. Everyone, I think, will know what it's about. Then another book that I picked up just because I like the cover. And I kind of like the concept. I did try to read it and I didn't really get into it. It's a little bit more sci-fi than I was imagining it to be. But this is Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And this is about vampires, but also weird kind of luminous things. I don't know, there was weird things going on. It's incredibly short. Oh, this is upside down. I'll give it another go. Obviously, I didn't give it that much of a chance, but I was in a vampire mood at the time because I just read Empire the Vampire. But that mood has passed slightly now. Let's see if we come back around to this one. So the last book before the most amazing book of all time is, sorry, that makes this one really hard to live up to, but you know, just still a good book. This is The Shadow of Gods by John Gwynne. This I got because it is inspired by Viking mythology and I want to read a little bit more fantasies about that. And there is also the second book coming out soon, so I thought I should read the first one before that. And John Gwynne, I think I'm going to go with, is meant to be very good. He has another series, which I can't remember exactly what it is, but you will recognise it when you see it. Malice. Okay, maybe I recognise it because it's on the shelf a lot. I don't know if you recognise it, but it's a hell of a debut, apparently, according to the cover. So, I think it's a much bigger series as well, so maybe I'll start with the smaller series, you know, since there's only 2 books, almost 2 books in the series, and there is a dragon on the front. It sells itself, really, doesn't it? Okay, guys, it's time for the most amazing book of all time. It's so beautiful, I just can't contain myself. Like, the excitement of getting this book was unreal. I was telling everybody, no one cared, but I was telling everybody about it, and I was incredibly lucky. So this book is in dollars. It's an American site that sells it, obviously, because he's American. So it works out to roughly about £100 and then about £50 to post it to the UK. But I was incredibly lucky that a girl I work with bought a book. And clue here, Brandon Sanderson, his team are incredible. And one of the pages in the book, because it has full colour pages inside it, guys, full colour, one of the pages got stuck together and they ever so slightly ripped when she opened them, and she sent a picture thinking maybe they'd knock off the postage or something like that, and they very kindly sent her an entire new book. And so I obviously was amazed at this. I was like, what are you going to do with the other one? And we decided that we would split the cost of the first book, or the amount of like £150 for one book, split it down the middle. So basically we paid half the amount price for one book and each got a book each. And I got the one with the slight rip in it. Like, you can't even tell. I'll show you what it is, but this is it. It is the Mistborn leather edition, sold by Brandon Sanderson on his website. You can still buy it. It's not the like signed copy anymore. Those are like going for an extortionate amount of money. But it has full on gold edges. Like, these aren't sprayed edges. These are full on gold. Like, I don't know how they do it, but they're like, you know, like proper old books. This is what this is. So this is just so beautiful. Like, look at it. Like, it's like, you can see the edges there. Sorry, it's a bit reflective of my light. Oh my god, it's just amazing. But inside, do check out my reel because I do show every single picture in it. Like, full on colour of all the different covers, or not all of them, but a lot of the different covers that have been around the world. So this is the damage, I suppose, on the edge there, which you can't really tell. Like, it kind of just adds a little bit to the picture. But yeah, it's just absolutely stunning. I can't believe I own it. I just, honestly, it's so good. So this is the most exciting purchase I've ever made in my life, and I own it. I own this book. It's beautiful. I want them all now. I was so tempted to buy the rest of this series, but like, I couldn't quite justify the price. You know, I had kind of, well, my mum looked at me and was just like, you know how many books you could buy with that other than this one book? And I was like, you know, fair, she makes a good point. So I do just have this one in my collection. I think I might save it for The Way of Kings, if that comes back in print. It's currently, these are the Mistborn books, the only ones that they're selling at the moment in the leatherbound editions. I would like the Way of Kings one. It is in 2 volumes, so that's going to be expensive, but that's my favourite of his series, so I would like to own that one. But this is it's just stunning, absolutely stunning, and it's mine. It's all mine. It's just so beautiful. Can't help it. This is, I'm just speechless at the moment. I can't speak. But yeah, this is a very long video at the moment, so I am gonna wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please do like and subscribe if you'd like to see some more, and comment down below to let me know that you were here. If there are any books that you think I should prioritise that I haven't already read. I don't think I've read too many of them either. If I have, I will put the wrap-ups and links all down below so you can check those out. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one very soon.